I bought a jack plane the other day, a number 5 Stanley, and it got me thinking about the name jack plane. It was named after the idea of a jack of all trades. There are so many planes out there. I thought I started thinking about the jack plane and what is the plane that you'd use before it, the plane that you'd use after it. And so I'm going to do a quick video on these various types of planes. So I've laid these out here sort of in order: a jointer, foreplane, jack plane, some smoothers, and a scrub plane. And this was the 5 that I bought recently, a 5C jack plane. Again, that got me thinking about, why is it called a jack plane? What does it mean, the jack of all trades? What can it do that other planes can't do, or what should it do that other planes don't do? And so I just thought I would spend just a few moments here talking about a jack plane and a foreplane and a scrub plane, etc. Here's a little Stanley 35 I use as a scrub plane. I've got not a severe camber on the blade, but a camber on the blade to use it for removal of a lot of material in a hurry. Here's a pair of smoothing planes, number 4 and a number 3. They're both the same length, they're just different widths, a little bit different weight. The number 3 plane is actually my favorite plane to use. This is a number 6, and it's called a foreplane, F-O-R-E, foreplane. And again, I'll talk about this a little bit further in a minute. It is, I think, 18 inches long. It's a pretty good sized plane. And again, a number 6 Stanley foreplane. And then the one on the end here, well, here's the comparison between the 5 and the 6. It's quite a jump up in size, quite a jump up in weight is all. And then here is a Stanley number 8, which is a jointer plane. It's 24 inches long. And it has its specific uses as well. So jointer plane, foreplane, jack plane, smoothing plane, and scrub plane. I'm just going to kind of walk through what those are all about. I have a few more in between some of these. I have a number 7 that would go between the foreplane and the jointer, and I've got number 4.5, which is a little bit bigger than the number 4, and I've got a number 2, which is more of a collector than a user. So let's get started here. Here's a scrub plane. Again, I use a Stanley number 35. It's a transitional plane. I use it for rapid wood removal. And it is so severe of a plane that it leaves actual scallop marks on the wood as you use it. I've got a picture here of what that looks like. You can see it leaves sort of a scallop mark because the plane has got a camber. It's radiused. I've got a picture here of the bottom of the plane. You can barely tell, but you can see that the plane is radiused. Now next is the jack plane I mentioned earlier. It's a Stanley number 5. That's the typical jack plane, and it is a jack of all trades. You could use it as a smoother. You could use it as sort of a small joiner. You could use it as a foreplane with a little bit of a camber on it. You can use it with or without a camber on the blade. Again, one of the more plentiful planes out there, a Stanley number 5. This one happens to be corrugated bottom. It's about 18 inches long. Again, a very common plane. Next is the foreplane. Mine is a Stanley number 6. It's got its name because it's the plane you used before you smooth or true up a board. It's meant to remove a lot of wood, but long enough in length to kind of skip over low spots. With a slight camber in the blade, it removes a lot of wood in a hurry. Can be used as a small jointer. It's a number 6. It is, I believe, 18 inches long, and you can see it compared to the 5 there. The next is a jointer plane. Mine is a Stanley number 8. I also have Stanley number 7. The 7 is 22 inches long. The 8 is 24 inches long. It's meant to be used as a jointer. It joints boards. It gives you a straight edge on the board. And its length makes it more accurate at doing that, at flattening or straightening the edge of a board for a glue up. Stanley number 8, again, that's probably the most common jointer. Mine is also a corrugated number 8. Finally, smoothing planes, maybe the plane you're most comfortable with or most acquainted with. I have a couple of Stanley number 3s and a couple of number 4s, usually with a straight blade. They're used for final smoothing. They're used for removing tool marks. They give you the finest cut. This is a 3 and a 4. They're both the same length. They're just different widths. Number 4 and the number 3. You can see the differences there, and just mostly in the width. These are very, very common smoothing planes. So that's it. That's a rundown between a jointer, a 4 plane, a jack plane, a smoothing plane, and a scrub plane. Thank you for watching.